Oh my gosh, is that really how the Underminer dies in the comics? Fire up your drills, put on your hard hats, and fasten your seatbelts because we are headed underground in search of information on the famous Incredibles villain, the Underminer. What were his previous plans? How did he meet his end? What could his previous stories tell us about the Incredibles 2? Hello, I'm Isaac from What's So Videos, where we discuss fun topics for fun people, and today, before we find out all of the mysteries behind The Incredibles 2, let's take a look back at the subterranean mole man who has been waiting for his chance to fight The Incredibles for over a decade. If you'd like to learn more about the Underminer, I provided all of the links to the movies and the resources I used in the description. And to continue discussing Disney with me, make sure to subscribe and click that notification button. Now, it is time. Behold the Underminer!
Behold the Underminer!
The Underminer's introduction is dramatic and fairly informative. In a few lines, we learn he is a terrorizing supervillain who is bent on destroying joy in the world and lowering people beneath him.
I am always beneath you, but nothing is beneath me! I hereby declare war on peace and happiness! Soon all will tremble before me!
In Incredibles 2 trailers, it appears he has made his appearance on the surface world in hopes of robbing a bank to fund his criminal activity. But in works released soon after the original Incredibles film, the Underminer was a part of a much bigger plan. In the 2005 video game, The Incredibles Rise of the Underminer, we learn the Underminer was using an army of drills, robots, and massive machines to enact his plot to rule the world at the end of The Incredibles. It turns out this mole man was actually a brilliant engineer who had constructed some terrible machines. He possessed a machine called the Magnemizer, which could threaten the world with extreme pollution, but this was destroyed by Mr. Incredible and Frozone. The head to his giant robot factory titled the Custodian, and a variety of giant robots called Gilganbots, which were all meant to be used on the Underminer's final attack on the Earth's surface. He hoped he could reign supreme as ruler of the entire planet. But do you honestly think he could pull it off? Not with the Incredibles around. Unfortunately for the Underminer, Mr. Incredible and Frozone invade his underground hideout and laid waste upon waves of robots and machines planned to be used in his attack, leaving the supervillain with little more than his own Gilganbot when he invades the surface. In the final battle, Mr. Incredible and Frozone force the Underminer's Gilganbot to go haywire, fly into the sky, and come down hard on the Gilganbot's head, causing a giant explosion that destroys the robot and seemingly ends the Underminer. Or did it? The Underminer returns in issues 13 through 15 of the Boom Kids Incredibles comics as a minion of the supervillain organization, the Unforgivables. After Violet and Helen are kidnapped by a variety of living vines, Mr. Incredible and Frozone trek after them and quickly realize the path they are taking is the same as the one they took when searching for the Underminer in the previous summer. After traveling deep enough underground, the super duo identify the Underminer, are shocked he is alive, learn he is working for someone, and spring into action when they realize the Underminer has a new machine titled the Magnemizer. The Underminer's robot minions quickly overwhelm Mr. Incredible, but once Helen and Violet escape their trap, the Underminer is forced to flee into the Magnemizer. Then the Underminer bursts from the ground within a machine stylized like the Incredibles. Very similar to the t-shirt I got from my merch store, whatsostore.com. And then he is contacted by the supervillain Zarek, who is so evil and so cool he deserves his own video. You see, Zarek is not only the tactical, bloodthirsty leader of the Unforgivables, but he is also the ex-boyfriend to Elastigirl and the villain who was originally going to be the lead in the original film. In the comic, Zarek had offered the Underminer the machinery needed to take his revenge on the surface dwellers in exchange for the machine to be styled so it would tarnish the citizens' faith in the Incredibles. This is why the Underminer plays a pre-recorded message which states, "We are the Incredibles, we are the superior beings, you will obey, obey, obey." Mr. Incredible, Frozone, Helen, and Violet board the giant robot, storm the Underminer, and are prepared to apprehend him until he is teleported away. The Underminer realizes he was set up to lose by Zarek and feels betrayed. The Underminer states that he has made an enemy with him and that Zarek is not so powerful, but his anger and engineering intelligence cannot stop his fate. Zarek no longer saw a use for the Underminer, so he was going to get rid of him. The Underminer's monologuing is halted when Zarek pulls out a weapon and ends the Underminer's life. The Underminer was determined to dramatically rise above the surface dwellers, rid the world of peace and happiness, and crush all who opposed him with his army of robots. From Rise of the Underminer and the Boom Kids comics, we learned the Underminer is prepared to go to great lengths to obtain his revenge on anyone who wrongs him, using his machines and pairing with villains and classes above him. But regardless of how intelligent he is or how tactical his plans are, the Incredibles weren't his downfall, but the man he aligned with. So that's everything we know about the Underminer before The Incredibles 2. And I'm just so curious if his previous stories will provide some influence for the sequel in June. Which leads me into the question of the day, sponsored by my patrons. Do you think the Underminer is a criminal mastermind or a simple thief who gets in too deep with others? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section, along with any other ideas you have for future Discovering Disney episodes. If you enjoyed discussing the Underminer, then click that like button. And if you are interested in staying up to date with more super incredible videos, then click that subscribe button and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. If you'd like to see more Watso videos, then check out some awesome pics over here. And as always, thanks for watching and have a magical day.